your strength and weaknesses, so that you get to see what topic to choose in the personal project or area to start in your project.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think even when we were looking at the poll, the word skills and interest came. So it really depends on your skills and your interests. You may have some existing skills that you can use toward a project. It may be something you're passionate about. So all these things come together. And of course, during that journey, you also build additional skills through that process. Mr. Srivastav?
Is there any other person? We can take one more response here. Let us see.
Yes, there is Ms. Lubna.
Yes, hello. I think it's personal because, first of all, it's a culminating project for all the MYP years. And it's a journey that goes from grade 9 to 10. So that's like about a year of their education. And also it connects to their personal interest, like the person before me said. So this is why it becomes very personal to them, because it's a journey. It's a long journey for students.
Thank you. I think I was looking for that word only, the culminating. So that's what we are talking about. Personal project is an important culminating project representing students' time in the IB Middle Years program, which starts from year 1 and ends in year 5. So rightly said by you. And then it's an opportunity for the student to showcase their skills, also mentioned by you. Very good. And to develop a goal or a topic that is interesting and relevant to them. So we are getting those words which were coming in the word cloud when we were talking to each other about our own understanding. To research the goal and the topic thoroughly, create a product, keep a journal of their progress, and create a report which can be written or visual, depending on the criteria. If you have any questions on this, later on we can discuss in the Q&A session. We can keep those questions handy with you. Now, we always tell our students to follow this personal project cycle, which is very, very important, because they start from investigating when they're thinking about the goal, the prior knowledge, and the research skills. And after their investigation, their initial thinking process, they start getting into the planning session where they start thinking about the product and the criteria on which the product can be successful. And then they will also record every entry into their process journal, which will actually a practice of the self-management skills also. So indirectly, if they are doing the entries as per the assessment criteria into the process journal, which I will touch on later also, but indirectly they are actually exercising their self-management skills also. Then next, they will definitely be taking action by creating that particular product, by thinking about how to create that product and then actually creating it, communicating their product to the audience which is around them, and then interacting with the outer community outside the school. They will definitely develop their all the different ATL skills which we are talking about, that is thinking, communication, and social skills. And after completing their product, after completing their product, they can definitely reflect at the last, you can say, the part of the cycle, and that is reflecting, where they will discuss the quality of the product, the outcome, and how they have been able to extend their knowledge, which they already have, and how they have developed as an IB learner, which is a very, very important aspect. How they have been able to learn the different learner profiles also and different ATL skills. So this is a cycle which we always discuss with our students while we initiate the process of personal project with them. So I think you will be able to relate with us in this aspect. Now, since you have been either a coordinator or a supervisor or a teacher which is or who is associated with personal project, so these are not limited to, but these are the roles which are suggested by IB, that what is the role of a coordinator. So the coordinators ensure that supervisors and students meet the project's requirement. They also help secure the necessary resources for implementing the personal project, develop materials that support student and teachers, and they also help the MYP coordinators to electronically submit personal project reports selected by the IB for moderation, external moderation. Then as a supervisor, what is your primary role? You will guide the student through the process of the personal project. You will also help students wherever required to complete the project. You will also conduct 3 official meetings with the student, which needs to be recorded in the academic honesty form, which is available in ManageBack, as well as is available on the IB website also. And then you have to also conduct internal standardization for the reports which are submitted of the product and the personal project, and then submit criterion level totals for external moderation. But this is not a limited role. Your role extends beyond this, and then you have to be available for the student for any kind of help which they require at any point of time. Now, what we do at Genesis Global School as educators, be it that I am a personal project coordinator, but first I am an educator who is actually transferring the information to the students, what they need to do in a personal project. Me and Mr. Ankur have collaborative classes with the students where we both are present with the students, and we actually practice those things which we want our students to imbibe by talking to each other in terms of a dialogue where students look at us, they see, they listen to what we are discussing, and then they bring those things into practice, which we will slightly practice today also with you in the future present part of the presentation. So at GGS, personal project is a requirement for MYP program, and we divide it over a span of 2 years. We start the process of personal project in MYP 4 and end it in MYP 5. In MYP 4, we focus primarily on developing their skills, which are required for personal project, like all the ATL skills which are there, and how to actually develop them in real time with practices. And also we ask them to prepare a mini personal project, which they submit at the end of MYP 4, so that they have a real-time practice of creating an actual personal project in the MYP 5, which has to be submitted for external moderation to IB along with the report. So that's how we practice personal project at Genesis Global School. Now, we will share with you some of our collaborative discussions with students, what we do at Genesis. You can see that while practicing the research skills for claim, evidence, and reasoning, we have this activity with students where students were given a question and they decided a claim, they decided a reasoning, and then they have given the evidence of why they are deciding that particular reasoning. So they get to understand and they get to practice the actual aspect of the personal project in this case. We also practice with them activities on global context, because we know that it is one of the very important aspects of personal project, which needs to be related to their goal. As you have already talked about, the interest and their ownership which they have about the product. They need to actually connect it to one of the global contexts out of 6. So we do a lot of practices on the connection of global context to the goal also, and the student in real time practice these things in our school with us. These are some of the excerpts from our students' process journal, how they keep their process journal and how they, you can say, develop the process journal throughout the progress of their personal project. This is about the criteria and the target audience which the student has selected, and the student is sharing the views in the process journal also. And then on the basis of his or her views, they're also saying how they can apply the knowledge to improve the quality of the product. So we get to know the idea of what the student's progress is with the help of these process journal entries. I think you will agree to this part. Now, why we are trying to discuss with you the personal project assessment criteria. This is a very important question. If anyone has a view regarding this, I would request you to raise your hand and let's discuss this. Because we know that you are already experienced educators and you already know the criteria for personal project. If someone who is new, it's okay. We will definitely discuss with you with these criteria. But for experienced educators who are already a part of personal project, I would ask a question here. The reason for discussing with you these project objectives. Can you tell me what is the reason? If you can raise your hand and share with us.
Yes, Alexandra.
So I'm a personal project coordinator here in Dubai. The assessments that we have to do as a personal project supervisors and coordinators are part of the IB framework, and we used to give them feedback in our timeline to finish one criteria at each time. So we give them a time to finish criteria A, and we give them feedback on the written report for criteria A, and so forth. So this is what we do over here. Students are more happy with this kind of strategy, so they can be more effectively guided when whatever they do for the product or connected with investigation as is criteria A is aligned with the report. So these 4 criteria are connected with the cycle of investigation. This next academic year, so this will be the last year that IB will ask for these 4 criteria. They will change. So I start the academic year in September and goes to June. So now, when I'm going to present the personal project for the next academic year to my grade 9 students, this will be with the new align and framework from IB.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Do you think that there is a relationship of these criteria with the process journal also?
Yes. So again, the process journal is a very important part of the report, and these show us the progress. These show us how students are working aligned with the timeline or the suggestion of our timeline in our handbook. So the process journal is something that they need to share every time they have a meeting with their supervisors. The minimum is 3 meetings with the supervisors. In our school, we advise them to have the minimum 4 meetings, 1 for criteria A, 1 for B, 1 for C, 1 for D.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I would like to add to what you have said. The personal project assessment objectives are so important, and they definitely are going to change from the next session onwards. But for current, we will follow the same. And now what I was actually referring to is that these assessment criteria and the process journal have a very, very distinct relationship. And that relationship is that every entry which is happening inside the process journal should be actually indented to one of the clusters of one of the assessment criteria. Like, take an example, you are if the student is writing the progress of a particular day, that the student has done a progress in terms of the research skills, that he has researched on some websites, and those website links the students is sharing in the process journal. So now you can see that criteria A is investigating, and the third cluster of that criteria is demonstrate research skills. So the student need to indent this A in the bracket 3 along with the entries of those links which he's sharing, because he need to provide the evidence of you can say exercising these assessment criteria throughout the entries in the process journal. So I wanted to make this point very clear to everyone, that whenever the student is doing an entry in the process journal, that entry has to be aligned with the assessment criteria of the personal project, any one of the assessment criteria. Maybe he's developing a success criteria. So that means now he is at the stage of planning, that is criteria B, and he's developing the proposal for the success criteria. So he will write B in the bracket 1. So that is how he need to indent all the entries in the process journal, and it is being aligned to the assessment criteria which is there for the personal project. So I just wanted to reiterate, whatever you have said is everything is correct, what needs to be done. So I have just given you some examples of the process journal entries which the student can include: mind maps, charts, notes, timelines, annotated illustrations, pictures, progress record, and diary. And we know that in the end, when the student submits the report, at least 10 of the screenshots or maybe a picture of the process general needs to be submitted along with that written or the visual report. So that's why this is very important. And in line to it, yes.
Mr. Srivastav, I think we also have another participant, Ms. Archana Singh, who would like to share her views on the assessment criteria. I think we should give her a chance.
Absolutely, sir. Definitely. Yes, ma'am.
Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So one more, factor which is a very important factor why we should be knowing about this assessment criteria is for internal, standardization, which is mandatory for all the schools to hold. And somewhere down the line, we need to have a common standard for making sure that all our students are going in for achievement. So so supervisors should be very, very clear about the strands and the criteria, and so that they can have a common ground. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your views. And I already reiterated that part when I was discussing the role of the supervisors, that internal standardization needs to be done for creating a common criteria to you can say assess the reports which the students will submit. And for that also, you have rightly pointed out that the personal project assessment criteria needs to be understood by the supervisors. For that, what we do internally is we internally organize workshops within our supervisors and from time to time and discuss one aspect of the personal project with them. So in near future, we are organizing a small workshop with all our supervisors on how to create a success criteria. So this is what we do normally in our school for our supervisors, so that they are also well versed with everything which is happening, because the supervisors are school teachers themselves and they have other responsibilities. So it's our responsibility to actually communicate every aspect of the personal project criteria with them and what is their role with the student when they are meeting the student. So we have two meetings in a week with supervisors with the students. So they always have an agenda of theirs with the student on a particular day. So that is how we conduct these things in our school. And thank you for pointing out. Yes, it is very important for supervisors to know this because they need it there during the standardization process. So we know that collaboration is so important, and we have reiterated that interest, skills, these are very important for us. So for that collaboration, what we have planned is an activity which is based on the understanding of the components of personal project. So what we are going to do is, now we are in the activity mode now. So it is an interactive session now. Whenever you have been asked to raise your hand to share your views, please do it, because I think we are not able to access the chat section. So if you are able to access the link in the chat section, please click on the link and access the Padlet and start answering. If you are not able to do that, I would request you to raise your hand and my colleagues will select and will let you speak whenever required. So what we are going to do is, we are going to provide you with a goal for a personal project. And what you need to do is, you need to see the goal properly, think about the goal, select a global context, a product, and an inquiry question that for that particular goal. Following this, you will answer some question related to different assessment criteria of the personal project related to the goal and the global context in the personal project with the product which you have decided. And then unfortunately, I don't know whether we'll be able to share this link on the chat, but the link will be visible on the slide. You can see the link, and if you can type the link on your screen, you can do it. Otherwise, please raise your hand and discuss with us your views. So the first is the goal. So the goal is to produce low cost, effective solutions for sanitization and hygiene for lower income households during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is your goal. So what you need to do is, you need to decide a product for this. You need to you need to decide a global context out of the 6 global contexts which are there. And then you need to develop an inquiry question. So this is the first part of this activity, and I would request Mr. Ankur now, please take over and coordinate this. Thank you.
So I have shared a link on the chat box for those who can access it. I would like you to please click on it and then start, putting some responses on that Padlet so that we can share it with the general audience. And for the ones who cannot access the chat box, we request that you can raise your hands and you can talk about the different ideas that you may have regarding this goal. I see a hand raised. Ms.
Ankur sir, I pasted the link also on, sorry, I pasted the link also on the.
Yeah, so there is a link.
Yeah.
There is a link which is also on this PowerPoint presentation. If you wish, you can type it in your browsers. We have a hand raised, Ms. Kanika Shah.
Yes, Ms. Kanika.
Yeah, so I think the product in this situation could be, homemade sanitizers maybe, or it could be homemade masks, or it could be homemade face shields, or it could be a combination of those. Because it's targeted towards the lower income households, I believe it should be fairness and development. Of course, it could also be scientific and technological innovation, depending on what the product is. So depending on what your focus during the project or through the project is going to look like, that's the way that you're going to kind of decide on your global context. And inquiry question is, I'm not really sure of that. I haven't really given that a thought yet.
Yes, so I would request you to think about it, and I would request you to come down to a particular product, a particular global context, and an inquiry question. Think for some time. We are giving you some time. Think about it, because I think, yeah, your ideas are very good because you're thinking about multiple products and you have also thought about 2 different global contexts. But I would request you to please come down to us, one of them.
I believe that once we settle down on a product and a global context, then we can also better frame an inquiry question that will give direction to the inquiry. Is there anybody else who would like to share their views? Please raise your hand. I also request the people who have access to the chat box to please update the Padlet so that we get some responses from you all out there as well.
I think we have got a very good, you can say, idea about the product, the homemade sanitizer, because that can also cater to the lower income group households.
Absolutely.
I think you can, and we can.
Miss Radhika, you want to say something? I saw your hand raised. Please share your thoughts with us.
Yes, Miss Radhika, please. You need to unmute yourself, Miss Radhika, first. I think I would request our moderator and colleagues to see whether Ms. Radhika is able to unmute.
I don't see her in the meeting anymore.
Right,
Okay.
right.
She may have been disconnected.
Well, just to let you know, everybody, if you can access the Padlet, under the first tab where we have to write the product goal, there's an image. So you can click the image, it will get enlarged, and you will be able to see the global context.
I was talking to you, Ankur sir. I think let's do the same thing what we do in our classes, because others are listening and they can take some takeaway from this also. That normally we do in our classes, that we talk about this. So I was talking about that, yeah, the idea of handmade sanitizer, which can be for hand sanitizer, which can be developed at home, so home based. So I think we can use a very simple ingredient as aloe vera in it, and aloe vera is also safe for skins also, right? Skin, and we can add a small amount of alcohol, which is very easily available on shops, on these shops, and that can be done, right?
Absolutely, because if you look at the prices when you are ordering sanitizer, it's relatively expensive. So people from the lower income households may not have access to that kind of money. So I think that is something that can be very easily made at home using ingredients. And of course, you have to add a certain amount of alcohol, which you can source. And this, I think, is a really good product for this particular goal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and feel that fairness and development is a very good global context as suggested by one of our participants. And I think we can just frame an inquiry question. Yeah, let's see what people are doing, and then we can suggest.
I don't think I have any responses on the Padlet yet. I don't know whether it has been updated on your end.
I would request you to please come up and raise your hands and start having a one-to-one discussion with us. It's fine if you're not able to access the Padlet, and let's have a discussion with you. Please come forward, because we are actually sharing with you these practices which we actually do in classes. And I think it's going to give you a very good, you can say, an idea of how to initiate a particular, you can say, a segment of the personal project with the students in a particular class. So please come up and let's discuss on this so that it can be a collaborative sort of a session.
Mr. Srivastava, okay, I have another response coming from Ms. Kanika. Yes, Ms. Kanika?
Yeah, so the inquiry question could probably look like, how can I create a homemade sanitizer that not only is, or is able to sanitize and, provide hygiene, but also cater to the necessities of the lower income households, given their, budget.
Very inquiry question. That's wonderful. I have another participant, Ms. Lubna.
Yes,
yeah, please
hi.
go ahead, Ms. Lubna. Thank you very much for your response.
Yeah, so I think the global context, the way I see it is it can be globalization and sustainability, because we're thinking of a low-cost product,
very good.
Which also can connect to the UN goals. This is something we teach our students to do. Inquiry question, I would select something broad. So I might say, how can hand sanitizers create a solution for pandemics?
Absolutely, that's very broad, and that's a beautifully framed inquiry question, because yes, I think it's not just relevant to maybe this pandemic, maybe in the future, WHO and a lot of these health agencies are predicting that because of the close interactions humans have now yes, with the wild, these pandemics may become more frequent. The Nipah virus, etc. So I think this is a wonderful question, which is going to address maybe the future as well. And then it is something that the student maybe can even carry forward going into their life, this project. Mr. Srivastava, I think now that we have a good idea about the product in the global context, we should move on to the next part of the activity.
Yeah, I would just want to reiterate one thing here as we are discussing about the inquiry question. I would slightly say, or maybe say this thing here, which is very important, that when we are designing an inquiry question, we know that our criteria, which is success criteria, definitely is going to be based on this inquiry question. So I think making it too broad might result in something which might be difficult to address with with 4 different assessment criteria. So in my opinion, thinking about the success criteria, we can just keep in mind that we have to frame an inquiry question with our students, keeping in mind that particular criteria which needs to be catering all our assessment criteria for personal project. So I just wanted to raise this point here. I think you agree with me because we had this discussion in one of our classes, Mr. Ankur.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Okay. Mani, I was wondering about the new criteria.
Yes.
Are there going to be a day or a meeting to discuss the new criteria?
Yes, yes. There will be, and I think we will get to know about that very soon. I think we'll getting to know about this very soon. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to go to the second part of our activity, which is now, since this global context and the inquiry question is a part of this investigating criteria, we would like to ask you 2 important questions. Now, since we don't have a Padlet access, I would request you to just unmute yourself, raise your hand, unmute yourself, when our colleagues will let you know. And please answer these questions. These are very important. I think you can use these questions with your students while discussing with them the investigating criteria in classes. And we have done it. And I'm telling you, we have been, we'll be very proud to say that we are very successful with our student while doing this activity with them. So when we talked about this very important product, that is handmade sanitizer. So where do I find the necessary materials for my project? That's a one question which I definitely will keep in my discussion with student. And second is, do I need to prepare, circulate and analyze a questionnaire or a survey with the community around me before preparing the materials or before preparing this particular, you can say, product? Ankur sir.
Absolutely. So before I share my opinion on these two questions or what I feel, I would like if anybody wants to come forward and share their thoughts on these two questions. Anybody is welcome to do that. Ms. Kanika, Ms. Lubna, I see your hands are still raised if you would like to share your thoughts on these, or anybody else.
Maybe Ankur sir, you can ask one of our participants, like we normally do in our classes also. When we see a student not responding, then we always ask the student to share the views, right? We can do that.
Perfect. Ms. Jasleen, I'll pick you to be my first student here. Ms. Jasleen, yeah. Do you? I would like to ask you first about question number 2. For me, that question would probably come first. What do you feel about question 2?
Okay, Mr. Ankur, thanks for picking me up, but I think let's get rolling. So the question says, do I need to prepare, circulate and analyze a questionnaire or a survey? Well, I believe it is definitely needed. When you are starting with a project or a product and idea, you would definitely want the product to be successful and the people to have its utility, to be using it. And it is very important to have an idea whether the product you are thinking of, does it align with the need of the other people or not? So I would definitely go ahead with a questionnaire and a survey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we are trying to create a product which is for a lower income household, most likely for the community, around us. So if we do not find out certain facts about the community, the amount of lower income households, etc., we might not be heading in the very right direction. So I think this is very important. And then once we figure that out, and yes, if there is such a need, then we move on to question 1, I believe. And then you can figure out where you can source your necessary materials and is it hard, difficult, etc. Mr. Srivastava.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for making it a very interactive kind of discussion between you and Ms. Jasleen. And I would be very happy to see some people pitching in and sharing their views also from the audience who are there from the participants. If we can get at least one view from the participant on these questions. Though these questions are available as suggested in the MYP Personal Project Guide, but we have selected only few of them so that it brings the activity. It does not make the activity too monotonous where we discuss with them and they don't participate. We give them a chance. We give the student a chance to actually share their views first, because the personal project is their own personal project actually. So they should be answering these questions.
Okay, I think now that we've sufficiently understood the investigating criteria, maybe we should move on to the next criteria.
So I am going to the next criteria now, and that is planning, which is the second step towards the process of the personal project. And there are two very important questions for planning. What will you make as a demonstration of your learning and skills? And what skills you already have, and what skills you will need to develop in order to complete your project. See, planning is where you are thinking now about the success criteria, which is actually, in a very simple word, a rubric which the student is going to develop to assess their own product.
Once again, I invite the audience to come forward and share their ideas. And for the ones
sharing our practices with you, and I believe that this is what we have already practiced in our classes. And we are kind of very successful with this kind of process in the classes. And students were able to actually reflect on all these assessment criteria beautifully while writing their entries in the process journal also, and while discussing in the classes also.
Ms. Kanika, you had a product in mind. Ms. Lubna, do you have any thoughts on these questions, especially question 2?
Well, definitely self-management skills.
Okay.
Critical thinking skills, because they will be creating success criteria.
Very good.
Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
So the goal statement.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would also go with a little bit. I would give some thought to skills, in the sense maybe some research skills related to science, because you are making a hand sanitizer. If you're talking about it containing a certain amount of alcohol, that has to be in the right proportion. So you should know how to mix, a certain amount of alcohol in terms of volume, etc., so that you actually create a product which is low cost for the low income households, but it still does the job. You don't want to create a product which you circulate and then it fails to do the job it is intended for. So I think I would also look into certain research skills in terms of the science behind creating a sanitizer.
Okay, can they use research skills in criterion A and then use research skills again in criterion B, or do they have to cover all of the criteria of the ATL skills throughout the 4 objectives? So can they repeat?
Should I answer, Mr. Ankur?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you very much for asking a very important question. Yes, though we know that explicitly, if you see the criteria, demonstration of research skill is limited to the criteria A, which is investigating, but the student actually needs to implicitly use it throughout the process of the personal project. I think we cannot limit the student, because I think just communicating that I have used a research skill will not do the work. The evidence needs to be provided, and that evidence can only be provided when the practice of those research skills will be there in the day-to-day activities for the project development. So definitely it's not necessary to actually limit yourself regarding this research skill in the investigating stage only, but they can be extended towards the planning also, towards taking action also, towards reflecting also, but we don't need to provide any evidence for that. The evidence has to be provided during the investigating stage only in the process journal.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for asking that question. I think it must have removed a big, you can say, query which can be there in different minds who are there with us today. Okay, let's, one more important thing I wanted to reiterate here. Ankur sir, I think you will agree with me, because we have encountered this in our classes. Transfer skill is very important. I think you will also agree, Ankur sir, right?
Absolutely. When it comes to thinking skills, yes, when you should be able to transfer knowledge from one subject and apply it to a relevant new situation, that comes in very handy here. Yeah.
And I can share with you that we did one activity with a student where we just posted the headings, the transfer skills, creative thinking skills like that, and we gave them different conditions, situations, and asked them to match with all those skills, and they did very beautifully. So I think that can also be done in the classes. This kind of practice can also be done in the classes for ATL skill development. Let's move on to the third important criteria, which is taking action. This is very important, because here where you start developing the product, which is the actual product, what they need to develop for their personal project. So we have very important discussion here. So based on the product and the outcome of the goal, how will you provide evidence on the usage of the following skill: thinking and communication? I think let's take the discussion to our group members. Ankur sir.
Yes, once again, I request you all to come forward if you would like to share your thoughts on this taking action criteria. how, based on the product, you can provide evidence for thinking skills and communication skills.
I think we can take one of our examples. In the meantime, people are thinking about the answer. Sir, we can talk about one of our student who has, let's not name the student, but who has decided to develop a food quality tester, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As a product. And the student is in the stage of developing the product now for the mini personal project. And she's providing us a lot of evidences in terms of how she's using the thinking skills and the communication skills. We can share with them when we get an idea from anyone, and we'll share with them later on.
Would anybody like to share their views?
Please forward and start discussing. Let us make it a interactive session, sort of like you clarify your doubts here. I think it will be easier for you to go to your class and communicate the process of personal project very easily with your students. I think because at some point of time, what we normally do is we sit down and think what to do, how to initiate, what else we should have done initially with the student, what things are required with the student, how they should initiate the process of personal project. There's so many questions are there. How should we include the lessons for the personal project in our day-to-day timetable in the school? These things are there. There are a lot of questions. So I would request, this is the time where you come up, clarify all your doubts.
So based on the product that we've been discussing, a low cost hand sanitizer, I think one evidence of the communication skill is that the idea is that for you to develop this product for the community around you. So once you've developed the product, you would like to communicate that to the community around you, maybe the same community from which you took a certain survey before in the investigation section, and then communicate to them how this can be, now how that can become a part of their household and how they can use it to keep themselves safe. So I think that would be an evidence of communication with the community around you. Mr. Srivastava.
Yes, sir. And maybe for communication also, we can organize a visit, maybe a virtual visit to an area where people of low income groups are there, and we can have a video which is shot already in this pandemic situation. We know that so many people cannot visit different places, but we can shoot a video and one person can represent, and we can show that video to those, you can say the area where the low income group people are living, and they can see that what kind of product you have developed and how you have developed it, what as a process, and how the thinking skills have been used, what ingredients should be used, how the safety of those ingredients is there. That can also be discussed with those people, and how safe are your hand sanitizer. I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we have Mr. Nazish who wants to.
Yes, please. I am very happy to have a response.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to say something. Yes, when we talk about evidences, we could have range of evidences, like starting from the investigating, and like in the beginning we talk about the making surveys. Okay, for that survey, students may make different questionnaires. Those questionnaires could be used as evidences, and communicating when students are going into different communities for asking the question or to interviewing somebody, the video clip of that interview, the images of that interview, they could be used as evidences. And there was another question about uh, uh, which things could be used to make sanitizers. So before we start investigating about the things and ingredients to make a good sanitizer, first they can investigate about the current sanitizers in the market and what is the most common ingredients, things or solutions or substances they are using. So after that they will have an idea, and then they will come to the cost effective point that which chemicals or substances are cost effective, and everybody, especially lower income group, can easily afford them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, very good, very important input. Thank you very much for sharing your views. I think you have raised a very important point. Video recordings of the interviews, the survey that can be done. When two people are talking, you can just record that video and keep it as an evidence. Very nice. So let's move on to the last part, which is the reflecting part, which is very important because we have to own our whatever we have done through our reflection only, and that is an evidence that it is your own. You can say you can claim the ownership of whatever you have done in personal project with the help of reflection. So the very important question, I'm asking you a hypothetical question because you are not actually developing a real product, but you can just think about these questions. What problems have I encountered? What are the problems which have I encountered during the process of my personal project? And second is, how has my subject knowledge and learning shaped the direction of my project? That is the two most important questions which I can feel. There are other questions also, but we have to take these questions like separately with the students to make them understand what they need to answer for these questions. So I think I have just taken two questions. So let me hear the views from people who are here.
Yes, Nazish.
These two questions are very good, but I just want to, for a healthy discussion, I just want to say that the question one is about what problems have I encountered. When we are talking about the problems, can we add another question that what went well during the entire process of investigation?
Absolutely, absolutely. As I said, that these are only two questions which I picked up from
Yes.
From the number of questions which are available for reflecting part. You can definitely put that as an important question there for the student to answer. What are those aha moments for the students where they feel that, oh, I have done something, I have achieved something today. Yes, you can do that, definitely.
Okay.
Do you see, Ankur sir, anyone who wants to share the views with us?
Yeah, please raise your hand if anyone else would like to share their views on reflection. For example, I mean, if I think about creating a product such as the one we've discussed, some of us who have done science before, whenever we are, doing an experiment, this is from past experience, you plan an experiment, everything looks right in theory, but then when you start, getting the result or the data, then it quite doesn't add up. So you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to, reassess your variables, etc. So I think this is something that can be potentially encountered in such a situation. Ms. Bhavna?
Yes, actually, I was trying to say this only that since we are talking about making a hand sanitizer, so one potential problem that students can encounter is what proportion of ingredients, different ingredients we are supposed to take, and how we can make that solution an effective one to be used. So that can be one of the problems, and then they can also discuss about the ways in which they overcame that problem. So what they actually did, to know the exact percentage or proportion of those ingredients that are required. I mean, how they overcame that specific problem that they faced. This can be one of the ways in which they can write about the problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, through a process, of course, you encounter certain hiccups and setbacks, but then you address those, and of course, that is part of reflecting when you're writing about that whole process. Anybody else? Ms. Kanika, I see that your hand is raised. Any thoughts? Nazish, you want to say something again?
Yes, I want to say something regarding question number 2, which is how has my subject knowledge and learning? I think subject knowledge will definitely help them to compile a good project, but in spite of that, or inside of that subject knowledge, I think the information of current affairs and the current scenario which is prevailing all over the world. That will also help them to shape the direction of the project.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
Very important point. It's not just subject learning, but knowledge of the ongoing affairs.
Like what the people of the people of North America, South America, or Africa, maybe what could be the cost-effective methods they are using, especially in the poor countries like Africa. Maybe they have some good solutions for sanitization. Maybe the majority of the people, they are not able to buy expensive sanitizers. So maybe they have a solution. So it's a vast, extensive, I think, research project. Not only their subject knowledge, but the awareness with the current scenario all over the world will help them to shape the project.
Right, rightly said. I think not just subject knowledge, but having inputs from different areas of the world which may be experiencing similar problems, they can already draw on ideas and inspirations from there. Absolutely. Right. So I think we have adequately discussed the 4 assessment criteria by addressing sort of 2 questions in each, sort of 2 potential questions. Mr. Srivastav, I think we can move the discussion forward.
Yes, I just wanted to just one important point here. I just wanted to relate the discussion which we are having with what question which arose in a previous discussion, that how is it necessary to use research skills every time? So I'm now answering that question, which an explicit example which Ms. Bhavna has brought up, that how the student is going to know the proportion, right proportion of both the ingredients which they are going to use, like aloe vera and the alcohol, to make an effective hand sanitizer. So in that case, the student, maybe he's in the other part, let's say the taking action part or the reflecting part of the criteria. Definitely he will be going into the research for this, maybe talking to a person who's an expert, or maybe going through videos on YouTube, or maybe researching on some websites. So again, implicitly, definitely he is actually exercising the research skill here. So that means it is not only limited to criteria A, which is investigating, it can be used throughout all the criterias. But here the evidence, the student can include the evidence in the process journal, but it will not be required like by the assessment criteria as per the rule book which is there. So I think that discussion we can take directly. It answers our question also. I think, Ms. Lubna, I have made myself clear now.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so let's now go and think about these questions, which I feel that all of you who are there in this discussion, in this workshop, will be having in your mind. How this activity is helpful for us, why we are suggesting this activity to you, and how you're going to ensure that students understand the criteria better. So rather than asking you, we have come out with a standard set of answers for this. Maybe this is going to help you to initiate the process of the personal project in your school, in your class. So the first question says is how this activity is helpful. So in my opinion, you tend to understand the assessment criteria in real time through active learning, which is what we are exercising now in this online environment. Why we are suggesting this activity to you? So active learning ensures maximum student engagement. Student participation is very important. They should be the people who should take the lead in the learning in this online environment. Because if we keep on speaking and they don't share their views, I think the learning will not take place properly. It will be one-way learning. They will not be able to learn anything, because for learning, they have to come up with their ideas, their views, and we have to engage them in different activities. And that can be done through active learning. How you're going to ensure that students understand this criteria better? Very important question for everyone. I think Ankur sir and I have sat together and we have discussed an answer for this question. And we have come up with this answer that by creating similar activities based on real world situations, I think you will be able to make these criteria better for understanding these criteria, a very simple and a smooth process for your student actually. So that is how we are telling you to understand this. That's why we have answered these questions for you.
Right, absolutely. Especially the number third, while we were doing different ATL skill building with the students, while we were going over the different global contexts, we chose a number of activities based on real world situations across a variety of themes, be it art or music or science or history, because more often than not, you find a group of students who are interested in these activities. And then, when you're sharing questions with them on Padlet, etc., they are very interactive. I mean, even we benefit from that interaction for the future classes that are going to be coming in. We get an idea of what students like. You get a sample size, you get an idea of their preferences. So I think we have found that this is one of the good methods to promote learning, especially the skills, global contexts, and then helping them chart their way to their real personal project, which they will be doing in MYP5. Mr. Srivastava.
Thank you very much, sir, for your views, and they are very important. If any one of you feel that you want to share the answer of any of these questions, having your own perspective, please go ahead. If someone is raising hand, Ankur sir, please.
No, I believe those hands are have been raised from before. Nazish, Ms. Kanika. Yes, Bhavna.
May I say something? Actually, I have not taught personal project. I am not very much aware about the requirements of personal project, but I would like to still answer question number 3. How you are going to ensure that students understand the criteria better. So this is what we do with when we are explaining the extended essays, we are usually sharing some examples of the students' work, which have been done, excellent examples, with the students. So I think this will also help if we can refer to this resource and, discuss some very good examples with the students to make them understand the criteria better.
Right. Perfect. So you can share some exemplars, some really good personal projects that have been created in the past, how they have addressed different criteria. Yes, that is actually a very good way as well to show the students how these various criteria are addressed. I think, Mr. Srivastava, in the beginning of our classes, we did go over certain exemplars. I think we can do that again now at some point, just to reinforce that concept. Very good idea, ma'am. Thank you.
Absolutely, very good idea. And what we do normally is we take those examples which are available or exemplars which are available with the teacher resource in IB. We actually plan activities through them in the classes where in real time, where student bring everything into practice, and then we just share with them. They share with us their ideas, and we share with them our feedback on those things, and that's what has been done, and a very good suggestion for others also. Thank you very much, Ms. Bhavna, for sharing your views. So I think now it is the time for the feedback. So since you are not able to access the chat, this link of the form, we will not be able to send you now, but I have provided you my email ID. Please note down my email ID and send me your emails, email to me so that I can share the form with you, and then you can answer. Now this form is very important because after we receive the response from you through this form, we'll be able to provide you with this with the participation certificates. So that's why I'm saying just note down my ID, my email ID, and send me an email so that I can respond with a form to your email. And secondly, if someone can access this form right now, please go ahead and access this form.
Sir, can you share the link in the chat section? It's not shared yet.
I'm just doing that, ma'am. Ms. Kanika, you have a question?
Oh, sorry. No, actually not a question, because I was trying to answer something about the earlier questions. That's fine.
Okay, please go ahead, Ms. Kanika, if you want to share something.
So in terms of students understanding the criteria better, what, not exactly for students right now, what we're doing is we are, as teachers, moderating sample reports. So that kind of, and we do like one criteria every week. So we've done A, and then we've done B, and what happens in that is we get to understand what exactly it is that we should be looking at, what exactly it is that we definitely don't want to see in a report, And those kind of conversations then come up. With that, then the teachers are able to guide the students better. So I'm coordinating the personal project. So all the supervisors then have, the ability to be able to extend their understanding to their students. So that's what we're doing in terms of, understanding criteria better.
So that's a very
now
good way of, yes.
Criteria are going to change, so I don't know now.
That's a very good way of actually initiating and making them understand the process of the criteria. So I think that's a very good suggestion. People who are here can they take these suggestions and start using them in your own classes and see. I think just going and saying that you have to develop a personal project, as no student will be interested in doing it. We have to make this process of personal project more interesting for students so that they can relate themselves to what they are doing, and because they have a lot of other things to do in their academic life. So let's not make personal project an extra responsibility to them. Let's make this personal project something which they feel that yes, this is something which I need to do because it is my own, and I can you can say exercise the ownership for this because this is what I am doing on my own. So I think that's a very good point, ma'am. Like moderating the reports with the students sitting in the class, moderating with the supervisors also, you can do this exercise along with the supervisors also. They can also sit along with you and then moderate these reports. I think that's a very good idea.
Right, Ms. Nazish, I see your hand is raised. Would you like to share something with us?
I think it was raised previously.
Okay, no problem. So with that, I think since we have gone over the bulk now, we would like to move on to the question and answer session. We leave it open now for you to raise your hands and ask us any questions. We'll do our best to address them.
Yes, you can ask us whatever queries are there in your mind along for the process of personal project. Please ask your questions. Feel free to ask anything. And please note down my email ID for sharing your emails with me so that I can send this form to you.
And for the people who can access the chat box, I have also posted the link on the chat box, and we'd be happy if you could quickly fill that survey. It will help us a lot, and we'll get a good idea about the workshop.
So now the forum is open for question and answers. Please go ahead. And I would request Ms. Varduhi to, because she's raising hand, to please share her views.
Mr. Manish, thank you so much. Colleagues, just to let you know that the same link that is for completing the reflection and posting the questions, etc., I shared in our WhatsApp group where the joining link was posted, etc. So you can also find the form now there, and it's available without waiting for the email to be sent to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the information. So now the forum is open for questions. Please go ahead and ask your questions. Whatever queries you have in your mind, whatever doubts you have, please share it with us. We will be very happy to answer as far as possible. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just want to ask, it's a general discussion. When we announce about the personal project and we conduct few sessions with the students in the beginning, they are very, very excited and enthusiastic. But with the passage of time, they tend to lose interest, or they might get lazy, or teachers have to run after them to complete the given tasks or to meet the deadlines. Even the teacher is always there, teacher is conducting sessions, meetings, but how you maintain the level of interest of students till the end of the project?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think, Ankur sir, you can share your views. After that, I will just add on.
Because globally we have variety of teachers all over here, so I just want to know, maybe the techniques the teachers using in India could be different from what we are using in Pakistan. So let's discuss, apart from investigating and the proper the outline of the project, I think we should discuss some general things also that will help us to maintain the students' interest till the end of the project.
Right. Excellent. I think this is one of the toughest things. I think the first thing we are doing as coordinators when we are talking to our students is that we tell students to really focus on picking something that they really like. Don't just pick up something because it's a fad, or it's something that you are seeing on the media and you want to do something. Pick up something that you really like. So actually, some of our students who are actively involved in music or art, they have chosen products related to music or art, something that they're really interested in, and they also want to develop their skills on that. So they look at personal project not only as a requirement that they can complete for their schoolwork, but also as a forum for self growth, right? So that is something that you can instill in your students, is that to pick something which you are really passionate about, which is generally a part of your life in the normal course of your life, so that you don't get bored with it with the passage of time.
And first of all, accept my adab to you, Ms. Nazish, because thank you very much for joining us from Pakistan. And what Mr. Ankur has said, I will just second to what he has said, and just I will add few more things here. I think during the process of the personal project in the classes, let's not actually tell them what is personal project, what you need to do it. Let us do something where we create the interactive activities with them in the classes where they bring everything into practice actually. And in that case, they will be very much interested in doing it. So maybe my suggestion would be that supervisors or coordinators or teachers who are taking care of the personal project in your school can create activities in the classes for, let's take an example, for familiarizing students with global context, for familiarizing students with assessment criteria, for familiarizing students with the success criteria, and also what are the sometimes you can just have an activity for a simple, you can say claim evidence and reasoning, which comes as a part of the research skill. So you can do that. And actually we have to create this interest, because if we every time go to the class and we sit in the class and we ask the student, what is your progress in personal project, the student will never going to say that what he or she is doing in the personal project. Let us actually involve the student in the active discussion during the classes by creating a lot of activities based on every part of the personal project. And I think their interest will arise, and we can give you our evidence that yes, it is happening with us in our classes. I think Mr. Ankur will agree with me that it is happening in our classes where the students are actually now absolutely, they take the lead in the learning, because when we go into the personal project classes, they were the first people to start speaking to us.
Yeah, over time it's shifted. Now, they are ready to share their process journals, and they're very eager to share what they've done over the past week. So I think the tide has slowly turned in the class, and the children are enjoying it more and more. Ms. Namira, I believe you have a question.
So thanks for giving me an opportunity. Actually, I'm new to IB. So my student is doing a video as personal project. Okay, so shall I post the video in YouTube and give the comments in with comments that we get for that video and post it in the personal journal?
Can I answer, Mr. Ankur, this question?
Yes, please go ahead.
So thank you for asking this question. This is a very important thing. Yes, since it is related to social media where the student is going to post a video on YouTube, so there should be some, you can say, criteria already decided between the supervisor and the student, because it involves the interaction of the student with the society. So we need to actually judge the contents of that video which needs to be shared with the society. Secondly, we have to take an understanding with the student, or we have to take an undertaking with the student and parents regarding posting that video on social media like YouTube. These things needs to be done. After that, we definitely have no role to play in this, because if they want to post on YouTube, they can. But as a school, as an educator, and as a department, personal project department, we should have all the necessary requirements and documents to support our claim if anything later on comes up. First, definitely the video has to go through a lot of scanning through all the supervisors and the coordinator also in the school. And then only we can just allow that content to go on to a social media platform. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
I hope, Ms. Najesh, I have also answered your question, right? If you...
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for the sweet adab. And I, I really enjoyed the session.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you
very
so
much
much.
for sharing your views. Mr. Dushyant, I see your hand. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Dushyant from Indonesia. Actually, Actually, sir, unfortunately, I missed the session because I had session with my students before. So I have a request because it's a very valuable session because I'm also new to IB. So when we will have a recording of the session, sir?
I think Ms. Jasleen will answer this question. Jasleen, ma'am. My moderator will answer.
Sure. Thank you. So, Mr. Dushyant, as we have informed that there is a Google feedback form shared with all of you. Once we have all your email IDs with us, then of course we will be in a position to share the link of the recording with you.
And Mr. Dushyant, I would welcome you from Indonesia because my major part of my IB career is in Indonesia only. And I worked in Indonesia for a long time.
Yeah, I'm working in Batam. There is a small island nearby Singapore, sir.
I know Batam.
So I'm working here for last 2.5 years. But you know, the IB is it seems that every year is we are learning a new things. So I'm also new, so that's why I missed, unfortunately. So that's why I have this request to have this video recording of it.
We'll be sharing everything with you, and you have my email ID also. If you have any specific questions, please get back to me at of time, and you can ask whatever is needed. I know IB is not difficult, it is challenging. What I always say to my colleagues, it is not difficult, it is challenging actually. And
Thank you.
Have to be faced with the student also need to face a lot of challenges also. Bhavna ma'am, next your question. Thank you,
Sir,
Mr.
my question was actually regarding challenges only. I wanted to know, like, how do you differentiate? How do you use differentiation in personal project? Because it is something which is very personal to the individual child. You cannot even use teamwork there. I mean, so how do you introduce that?
I think Ankur sir, would you like to answer this?
Yes, why not, ma'am? So through the course of the MYP4, what we've done is the different activities that we used, right? So they were differentiated. Some were driven audiovisually, some were driven through text. Also based on the subject material and the interest. So like I said earlier, we are picking topics from diverse subjects. That already ensures a certain amount of differentiation. Then also different students, we differentiate based on product, right? They can someone can give us a write-up, someone can give us an image. So based on the student, we are employing all these differentiation techniques in the class, right?
Okay.
And Bhavna ma'am, to add to what Mr. Ankur has said, Bhavna ma'am, I would just add to what he has said. We also have sessions in different channels with student and supervisor separately. Like the student and supervisor are there in different channels. In one channel, nobody else is present, and we are catering to the specific needs of the student in those sessions with the supervisor and students. So in that case also, somehow also we are indirectly exercising differentiated learning also there also.
Okay, sir. Because even I felt that there are some students who lack in understanding and they have to develop a full-fledged project. So how do we cater to that in our lessons, during our lessons?
Rightly said, ma'am. There are a lot of students whom we are facing this problem, and I think now all of them have come to that stage that they are the people who are discussing things with us first when we are there in the class.
That's
Thank
wonderful,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Meena, your question, please, and then Ms. Heba. Ms. Meena.
Thank you, Mani sir. Mani sir has been my colleague in Indonesia, and he is a really, really enthusiastic teacher. I'm glad to see you, sir, on this platform, and it's really good the way you presented.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I once again very happy to meet you at this platform. Thank you very much. Do you have any question, ma'am, specifically?
No, sir. Thanks. I learned a lot from you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Miss Heba.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heba. I'm a personal project coordinator in Egypt.
Thank you for joining from Egypt.
Thank you. And my question is hitting the sequence of the phases of the personal project, whether we apply to the current guide or the one is to be issued in the coming academic year. Now, usually we introduce the personal project at the end of MYP for the last term, and then we help students with investigations and choosing topics in global context and so on. And then they are left during the summer break to work on the product and so on. And then when they come in MYP5, we start writing the report. However, what happens usually is that students in the breaks do not abide by the plans they set for themselves because, you know, it's like they don't have rules to meet deadlines that they have set for themselves. And then when they come in MYP5, we have these conflicts that students have to hit the deadline by filling the requirement of a certain criteria when they did not do the action that they have to report on. So my question is about aligning the action with writing the report, like which should come first and then which comes should follow the other step, because some of them are really on track and others might not yet done with the phase or with the achievements that they have set for themselves in order to be able to report it in a written form. So how can we make sure that the like taking action that the student has actually took the action in making the product and that they are capable or they have full information to write or to report in the and the report itself in the written form? Thank you.
Okay, very nice question. Ankur sir, you can share your views, then I will just add to.
Yeah, I think so. This was one of the reasons why we decided to, you know, sort of usher in the personal project in MYP year 4. Number one, that helps students to get an idea about the whole process to begin with. And secondly, just recently we met with the supervisors that we've assigned to our students, and we have set these internal deadlines for ourselves, right? So the supervisor and the student, they will be meeting these deadlines where a certain amount of work is set and it's given to the student, which is then being followed up by the supervisor. That way we are ensuring that different aspects of the project are actually happening and the student is not just setting a deadline but not following up.
To add to what Mr. Ankur has said, Ms. Heba, what we are also doing is for familiarizing our student and supervisors with the different aspect of the personal project. So we are organizing in-house, in-school workshops, small workshop for different assessment criteria, which are there for the personal project. Like let's say, take an example. If suppose we ask our student to develop a success criteria. So we are organizing a workshop in school for students and supervisors. Both of them will be there in that workshop and they will learn how to develop a success criteria. And then secondly, for these students who are difficult ones, who are not understanding what to do in their as a product or project, there comes the role of differentiated learning actually, because we need to actually segregate these students and take them separately and make them sit in different classes with the supervisors along with the coordinators, and first understand the need and the reason for not having the similar progress as the other students are having. And then after noting down the problems which they are facing, we can devise the strategy one by one for all their problems which are having. And I think if you meet the student face to face, a one-to-one discussion with the supervisor and the coordinator, I think you will get to know all the problems that the students are facing in developing an effective project, maybe in the process of taking action or in the process of, let's say, reflecting also, or maybe in the process of planning. Then I think we can know exactly what is the problem and we can devise the strategy for that particular student. So in this way, we are actually exercising the differentiated learning also, as mentioned by Ms. Bhavna. I think I have answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Meena?
Yeah, I have a question regarding, for example, if a student joins school in MYP year 5 in the beginning, so do you think the student is eligible to continue personal project?
I think year 5, he's joining in the year 5 in July, right?
Yes.
So if he's joining in July, we can include that student and he can be a part but we need to take an undertaking from the student and the parent. If required, that needs to be submitted to the to IB later on. But I think IB does not have any role to play in this. If the school allows a student to continue with that personal project in when joining in year 5 also, and the student is taking the ownership of developing everything in that set time, I think please go ahead and include that student.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Meena ma'am, you are MYB coordinator. I think that's a very
Yes,
nice
sir.
question. I think I'm very
Yes,
happy to
sir.
get that question from you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Jasleen, now I would like to hand the proceedings over to you, if I think we've had most of the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ankur. So I think though we started off with few glitches, but the session went really well. I'm really happy to see the few colleagues joining in, sharing their opinion. Though we didn't get the chance to share with you the Padlet link and something, the things would have been a little more lively that way. But I still believe the session was pretty useful and beneficial for everyone. We would look forward for your responses. Please do write back to us with your email addresses and names with the correct spelling, because that's the challenge when we are sharing and forwarding you the certificates for attending the session. And once we have all the details with us, we will be sharing with you the recording as well as the certificate. And as you can see on the screen, Mr. Manish has once again shared his email address. Ms. Vaduhi just mentioned that the links on the platforms where we have shared for this meeting, those platforms also have the link to the feedback form. So you have various ways you can connect directly through this email. You can go to the feedback form and then get back to us with this. We would be really looking forward for your suggestions for this, so that going ahead when we plan, we do take your suggestions very sincerely. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart to be with us to make this session a super success. Wish you all a wonderful evening and a wonderful Sunday ahead. Take care.
Thank you very much for joining, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
for
sir.
the
Thank you very much,
session,
sir.
Sir and Ankur, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for organizing an amazing session. Thanks again from Jordan.
Thank you.
Jordan.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manish, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Manish, sir.
Thank you. I think we should stop the recording now.